This is your one and only FireSpark81 with your daily dose of video goodness, and welcome back to another informational Valheim video. Today I'm going to show you how to break the fourth boss, Ḥ'modr. Let's get to it. So for those of you who do not know, the fourth boss is a dragon, and in order to summon the dragon, you need dragon eggs. Now, because I keep getting asked when I make these guides what the powers are, for some reason, I don't know, I never say it because I figure you're just going to beat it and go get the power anyway, because you got to beat them all. That's like the name of the game. But anyway, so you don't have to ask. The power that this boss gives you is you always have the wind in your sails. So when you proc it, if you don't have the wind, you'll have the wind. Okay, so let's talk about preparation, because you kind of, the preparation on this can vary. You can go all out and be super prepared if you want to, or you can kind of not do a whole lot if you don't want to do a whole lot. It's all up to you if you want to over prepare or not. There's a few options you have because you're going to need to go into the cold biome. This is a mountain biome for those of you who do not know, and it is a cold biome. You can't go up there without being prepared. Now, you need 3 dragon eggs in order to summon the boss, and you can find said dragon eggs in these biomes. They're not always going to have it. Some will, some won't, but you're more often than not going to find at least one in the biome. Now, I found them all over. I found them as low down as like right near where the 2 biomes meet, and I found them all the way up in the peaks of these things. So you just kind of got to run around there and deal with the wolves, kill wolves like crazy, and find 3 dragon eggs. So this is what the dragon eggs look like when you're out looking for them. This is what you're looking for. And in the distance, depending on what your rendering distance is, you'll see kind of like a pink glow before you'll actually see the egg. So if you see like a pink glow out in the distance, run towards it because it's most likely an egg. Pinkish purple. Anyway, that's what it looks like. Now, there's a few things to keep in mind now that you know what they look like. 1, they cannot be teleported, and 2, they weigh 200 apiece. So they are hefty, and you can't teleport them. They're an absolute pain in the butt. You have a few different options for prepping for the cold biome. One of those things is you can make the frost resistance mead. That should protect you in most cases when you're running around the cold biome, but you're probably going to be spending a lot of time in there, so you're going to need to make a good chunk of this. If you don't have a problem with that, which you shouldn't, because you get 6 per craft. So let's take a look here at what you need to craft them. So here's the frost resistance recipe. You have to get a hold of honey, thistle, blood bag, which you get from the leeches in the swamp. Super easy to farm. They spawn like crazy. Great dwarf eyes, you probably have 9 million of those by now. So your other option is to get a hold of a 𝐴𝐼𝐴 cape, and you can do that really easy by getting a hold of the 𝐴𝐼𝐴 pelt, as you see here, and silver. Now, if you're at this stage of the game where you need to fight the dragon, you've already fought the bone mass. If you haven't fought the bone mass yet, I have a guide for that. Go check it out. Shows you how to fight the bone mass. Super easy boss to break, which means if you've beaten him and you're at this point, you have the wishbone. The wishbone will help you find silver. You get a hold of silver. You go to the plains biome. It's super deadly there, so I'm warning you now, if you don't want to deal with the craziness that's there, like the death skeetos and the furlings or the goblins that will most definitely one-shot you, then you may just be better off making the frost resistance potions. I'm just letting you know that the 𝐴𝐼𝐴 cape is also an option and should provide you with the resistance that you need to run around the biome. So just in case you want to go the 𝐴𝐼𝐴 cape route of exploring and not making a ton of mead, this is what the 𝐴𝐼𝐴s look like. And once again, they're in the plains biome, and you can just kill them and get the fur. While you are in the mountain biomes, you also want to keep an eye out for stone structures, because there's little wooden structures as well there, but there's also stone towers. I've seen them with skeletons in them, and I've seen them with Draugr in them. Those are important because from the research I've done, those can contain the tablet to unlock the location of where 𝐴𝐿dr's altar is. Now, I didn't have any luck. I just found it by going to the different mountains all over my map until I eventually found the thing. It's massive. We'll see it in a minute. You can't miss it. So either way, whether you're running around looking for the drake eggs, you may stumble across it, or you also want to keep an eye out for those towers, because if you find them, just check inside of them to see if there is a red tablet there, and you can read it and it'll unlock where the altar location is for you. All right, now let's talk about what you need to bring with you now that you've decided on whether you're using the frost resistance mead or the cape. So for this fight, you're gonna need your, well, if you want to cheese it, you're gonna need your pickaxe and a hoe and a bow, some wood and some stone. We can find more of that up there. You don't necessarily need to bring wood and stone with you. There should be plenty on your mountain. And then for the bow, whatever arrows you want. I recommend fire arrows because they are relatively cheap. You probably at this point have a buttload of resin and feathers as well, so they'll do decent amount of damage. Hopefully you've been training bows a little bit, and I advise the fine wood bow, that way we can repair on the fly while we're doing the fight. Now if you don't want to do that, you want to make 2 of like whatever bow you're crafting at this time, whether it's the huntsman or whatever, then do that. But you're probably going to need a good chunk of, you know, at least 2 of the things, because you're just going to tear through durability fighting her. You should have a variety of arrows at this point. The poison arrows also work really well, and I'll show you the kind of damage I'm pulling with those when we get up there. But yeah, whatever arrows you want to use, feel free to use them. Okay, so you have all of your tools and equipment, and you have the 3 dragon eggs. Now you're ready to go fight her. So let's head to the altar. Okay, so here we are at the altar. This is what the altar looks like. Now, real quickly, because I forgot to mention earlier when we were doing the prep, food-wise, sausages, turnip stew, and carrot soup. You should have all 3 of these by this point, because you get these 2 when you go to the swamp, and the carrot soup, you get that from the dark forest from getting carrots there. So you guys should, at this point, you should have these 3 things. As you can see, it gives me almost 150 HP and gives me a ton of stamina. Now, this is what the altar looks like. This is where you place the eggs. You go 1, 2, and then the last one over here, 3. Now, you click this to start the fight, but don't do that right away. Clear everything off the mountaintop up here. Make sure there are no ads to spawn in and try to come get you and any of that. So over there's one of the towers that I was talking about. So if we take a look over here, you can see we also have a golem over here. That would have been terrible in the middle of the fight, but this is what the towers look like. And you can see that there is a tablet in there as well that would have given us the location if I hadn't found it first. So I'm gonna kill off everything real quick to make sure we don't have any ads mid-fight. Now that we have went through and cleared out everything, it is time to prep the area to cheese the fight. Now, if you don't want to cheese the fight, obviously you can skip this step, but for those of you who do, it's time to prep the area. So the first thing you want to do is flatten out a nice large chunk. So the best way to do that, when you're flattening, it takes wherever you're at, and that's where it flattens from. So that's the height it's going to flatten out. So we're just going to kind of go like this and flatten out the area here. And now on areas like this, we're going to have to bring it up. Now it's very important that the area is flat, because when she lands, we need her to be flat, because she cannot attack down, and we're going to take advantage of that. Now, if you look here, there's a massive chunk of stone. So there's plenty of stone here for everything that you need, and you have wood as well if you need it. So you don't need to bring any of that. There should be all of this on your mountain. You should have tons of stone on the side of the mountain. You can see over here, this is all stone as well. You can just mine all of this out if you need stone to raise the ground. So we're just gonna drop a workbench down. We're gonna stand here. We're gonna grab our hoe, and we're just gonna raise the ground up until we get a nice flat surface up here. Now you can also, if you don't want to do this method, you can also lower the ground with your pickaxe and level it that way as well. Now that we have everything cleared out, it is time for the next step. Now, for those of you who are going to fight this legit, you may want to do this as well. Once again, you don't have to, but this is going to help you to move around, which is something that you're going to need to do a lot. If you have a situation where where the ground's really messy like it is here and it's all over the place and there's a ton of stuff to run into, it could be rather scary for you at times, and you could end up getting stuck when you try to roll out of the way or run out of the way. You could end up running into something and it could just be bad news. Doing this gives you a nice platform to move around and dodge her attacks. Now, for those of you who want to cheese the fight, what we're going to do now that we have this nice level ground here is get right about in the middle of it. Right about here-ish, looks good, and we're gonna dig down. And we're gonna dig down till we're nice and far above our head. So we wanna make sure that the ground is really far. Well, let's go one more. Yeah, I'm gonna go one more. One more just to be on the safe side. Yeah, that's nice and deep. Now we need to keep this level, so when you dig like this, then you dig down again. Dig once forward, dig down again. Once forward, dig down again. Okay, so you're just gonna do that. You can see we got just a little bit of a slope here. That's fine, because now we want to kind of just slope it out a little bit so we can come out of here easily if we need to. So just keep digging forward. Don't dig twice, dig once, and we should dig right up out of here. Like so. Look at that. Beautiful. Now we have a nice ramp to go down like this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to grab all of that wood that we have out there. So we have a nice bunch of it, and you want to place this below the ground here. So if she cannot attack down, she can only attack forward. The reason we level this out is because she can't angle down to attack down. So now that it's level, she can only swipe out like this, and her swipe out does not have any down range on it. But we want to get nice and below the ground level because she attacks level with the ground. So we can get down to right about here, should be perfectly fine. And now what we're going to do is just build across like so, and then do it again, just like that. And then that should be good, but I'm gonna do one more. Ideally, I like to have 3, and because of that, we're gonna need to dig our ramp just a little bit more. I didn't get quite deep enough, so let's do that. Let's just dig our ramp just a little more. Okay, so I made a few more adjustments. You can see what we got going on right now. This should work beautifully. I'm going to go ahead and just put that like that. And then we're gonna go up here and we're going to knock down our station because we should be able to fit that under here as well so that we can run repairs. So we're gonna go crafting, and beautiful. Now we need a roof over top of it because it wants it. And beautiful, now it should work. There you go. So you can run repairs mid-fight. Now, the reason we have the roof on here, because you're probably wondering, why are we doing the roof if she can't attack across or attack down? Well, when she flies up, she has to target us. If there is a roof here and she can't see us, she can't target us. So she'll fly up and she will just completely bypass her one attack, which fires down a big AoE of exploding crystals. So we want to just bypass that. Now, what I'm going to do just to make sure that happens is I'm actually going to just place a second one right a little higher, just in case it gets destroyed like that. That'll just give us that little bit more of an edge if she flies out that way and tries to attack us. Now, if she does attack this, it will crumble, but you can just rebuild it. You'll get all the resources back. They'll fall on your head. Okay, so we should be good with this. This should be the proper setup here. She should not be able to attack it unless something goes crazy. When she flies, we just run under here and she'll skip her attack. Now, for those of you who want to see it legit, bow, that's the way to go. I don't recommend trying to face tank her. She swipes and she bites and it hurts. If you really want to go for it, go for it. I'm going to show you how to do it using bows. So we have our bow, we have our arrows. I highly recommend after doing this setup here, just make one more pass to make sure everything is dead because stuff will respawn around you. All right, so let's do this thing. So here we go. We're gonna summon her and we're gonna grab our bow. I have the fire arrows active right now. Let's see where she spawns at. She's gonna spawn up there. I'm just gonna get ready to shoot. Okay, we shot her. Now we're just gonna run down here. So now I'm just gonna wait patiently. Oh, by the way, skills, I forgot to show skills. So I've died a bunch, but where's my bows? Bows, I'm 38 in bows. Now, what you wanna do here, you should, okay, there we go. So she landed. So now, we're just gonna fire at her. And you can see she's broke. She doesn't even know what to do. And then we just run back under here if she flies. But she's not flying right now. She's down. So she can't get us here and she can't attack. Now if she does the breath, and you'll see her get ready to do the breath, you just run under here. I don't know if that was the breath or a growl. She does a little bit of both. So you can see she can't do anything right now. This shuts down all of her attacks. This took me a while to figure out. This was she was not an easy one, not nearly as easy as the bone mass. So right here we should be fine right about here. If you're worried about being too high, you can tear this out just a little bit more, but we should be fine. Now she's flying, so now we need to get down under here. Now this is what breaks this attack. If we're up there and she can see us, she can target us. But if she can't see you, she can't target you, and it bypasses the attack. Now that she's landed, we can come back up here and we can fight her some more. Sometimes she will get stuck like right here, and you can get in a good position. Yeah, like I think we're good right here. Yeah, we got a good spot right here. So we can just unload a bunch of damage on her. Now, for those of you who want to fight her legit, let's run out here and I'll show you what that looks like. So you want to keep your distance from her so that you have plenty of time to react. And when you see her doing something like that, you want to run. Sometimes it's the growl, sometimes it's the breath. You do not want to get hit by the breath. It will definitely put a hurting on you if it doesn't freaking kill you, because it slows you down and it's hard to get out of. So you want to keep moving. Don't try to stay in one spot. Now, when she goes to fly up there, we're going to do the same thing. If you get hit by this freaking attack here, it hurts really, really, really bad. So I'm going to try to stay moving. And then we're going to shoot at her a little bit. But when she's flying though, she'll keep doing that attack the whole time she's flying. So that's it if you want to fight her legit. That's what you got to do. You poke a little bit, you dodge the attacks. You poke a little bit, you dodge the attacks. It's a brutal, rough fight. It's not too bad if you got a bunch of buddies, because she's not always going to target you. But if you're soloing it, it's going to be brutal. This is way easier. This is so much easier. She literally can't do anything. As you saw there, like she can't even hit me. One thing to remember is you always fire from the middle of your person. So when you're firing below something, fire higher than you need to. If you watch here, if I aim up, you can see the bows. The bolt. It looks like it's coming from the bottom of my bow. And if I fire down, it looks like it comes from the tip of your bow. So we can just set here, and this is the fight. I guess we'll just skip until it gets to the point where I beat her. This is literally all you got to do. And she'll hang out here for a while, and then she'll go flying again. And when she flies, if you're scared about peeking your head out, you can hear when she lands, she makes a thud and the noise changes. You can hear her thudding around on the ground. I've almost got her down, but I just remembered I need to show you guys the poison arrows. So here's the damage that the poison does. So you can see it's doing about the same as the fire, 4.3 per tick. And now it's doing 5.8 on that one. If we swap back over to this one, 4.2. So there's the difference between the two at the bow level that I'm at. They do increase with your bow level. And we've almost got her done. 1 or 2 more hits should do it. And there we go. So that's what happens when you beat her, and then you're gonna get a bunch of the tiers. Well, I'll just grab everything here and show you what we end up with in our inventory. So there we go. We got a bunch of the tiers, and we got her head, and I think I got rest of this stuff from other random things that I killed. So that's what you get when you beat her. All right, and that's how you can easily break the fourth boss. If you found this video helpful or informational at all, please consider hitting the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be notified when I upload other Valheim videos. And I don't just cover Valheim, I cover all kinds of different games. It just so happens that Valheim is the feature game on the channel right now, so you never know when I'm going to be making guides for a game you may be playing. All right, that is going to wrap it up for this episode. If you like what you saw, consider hitting that sub button. I want to give a big thank you to my patrons for making this episode possible. Y'all are absolutely amazing people. If you'd like to join my 𝐴𝐿𝐴 Patreon supporters, please check out the link in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. If you're shy, you don't like to comment, just hit that thumbs up button and show your support. Until next time, thanks for watching.